Now, if you've ever found yourself sobbing in traffic because you can't get to daycare or to school on time, or you've wondered, how do I build a career that doesn't require me to sacrifice being present with my kids? Or if you're just tired of feeling like you're constantly juggling flaming torches while riding a unicycle, my guest, Amanda Rabin, is about to become your new best friend. She's cracked the code on something we all desperately want, a rhythm that actually works. Not perfect, just real, sustainable, and honest. Hey, friends, welcome to Mom Mentoring. I'm Misty Hughes, transformational coach and champion of the dreams that you carry in your heart, the ones that sometimes get buried under the laundry piles and carpool schedules. Before we dive in today, I want to invite you to something special. With the holidays racing towards us, I know how easy it is to lose yourself in the chaos. That's why I'm hosting Be Still Before the Holidays, a virtual soul reset designed specifically for you, the busy mom who needs to catch your breath before the whirlwind begins. You'll find the link in the show notes. And speaking of catching your breath, today's conversation is all about creating space to breathe in the beautiful chaos of motherhood. My guest, Amanda Rabin, is a physical therapist, ergonomic coach, professor, wife, and mom of 3 kids under 7. Her husband serves in the military and is often deployed for long stretches of time. Amanda loves to help moms feel better in their bodies that they mother in, which, if you're anything like me, it sounds like a big yes, please help me. She also hosts the Everyday Ergonomics for Working Moms podcast and has the beautiful gift of blending clinical expertise with lived experience. Now, if you're ready, settle in because we're about to get into the nitty gritty of how Amanda went from complete burnout to building a life with actual breathing room. Take a deep breath and let's explore what Amanda has to share with us. Amanda, I am so excited to hear more about your journey. Every mom that's listening is probably leaning in going, oh my gosh, she's figured out what works for her family, and they want to hear from you today. So now, as you think about the conversation that we're getting ready to have, what's important to you in this conversation?
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be on the show and to share my journey with these moms because it has been a journey. There's
Well,
been lots of trial and error, lots of tears, calls to my mom and my sister. But I really want moms to learn that if you just get a little creative and try a couple different avenues, you can find something that works for you and your rhythm and allows you to be present for your family and for your purpose.
mm. And so this idea of helping moms feel better in the bodies that they mother in. So what's that all about and why are you so passionate about that?
So I had my first baby during physical therapy school. So I was right in the midst of my education when I was starting my motherhood journey. So having to adapt right along with her as I started my professional career. And then as I started my clinical practice, every time a mom would come in and I am asking them, what things are causing an increase in your pain? What things are hard for you physically? A lot of times it was coming down to these household tasks and these motherhood tasks that they can't stop doing. So you can make modifications in your workouts, you can make modifications in your work setup, but some of the things that you just have to do to run a house and to be a mom, you don't stop just because it's uncomfortable. But then by the time moms were coming in clinic to see me, they were broken down physically and emotionally, and the strain of it hurts every time I pick up my kid, and all they want to do is be picked up. That just broke my heart but it would light me up when we would start problem solving through how to do it better. And I realized that this is something that people need to learn because we don't learn lifting mechanics and ergonomics and how to interact with objects and people. So your everyday mom doesn't know how to lift a 30-pound object 20 times in an hour without hurting her back.
That word ergonomics, what does it actually mean?
Yeah, so ergonomics it's basically the science of how a person interacts with objects in their environment.
Okay. Okay. So I can go to the gym and lift weights and do my 45-minute weight training, but it's not teaching me, like you said, how to lift that 20-pound child 20 times in an hour, right?
Right. And you
And
need
that,
to be doing things that are specifically training the muscles that are supposed to be working in those situations.
that is brilliant. That is so incredible. And you talk about your purpose. You have found a way, found a rhythm for your life right now. You have a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 7-year-old. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. That's a lot right there. So many moms think, okay, it has to be one or the other and feel like they have to give up one to be fully present in the other. But you've found a way to marry the both that's working for you right now. So how have you done that?
Um, so it's been quite the journey. We knew we wanted kids, but we weren't planning to have one during school. I had 3 years of doctorate degree debt. It didn't feel like I had any choice but to go full force into the workforce. So I started out full time. My husband was gone for long stretches of time. I remember he was gone. I was driving home from work and I got stuck in traffic an hour away. And the daycare was going to close. I had to call one of my husband's friends to go pick up my daughter from daycare. And
Mm.
he was a single guy. He did it. He picked her up and he just took her to the gym where we worked out. And the other moms that were at the gym took care of her. It was enough instances of that happening that it was really hurting me. It was hurting my heart. And then we moved across country closer to my parents, thankfully, but they were still 2 hours away. And I was still trying to work almost full time. We went through 5 nannies. I ended up to where I would drive an hour, meet my mom to give her the kids, drive to work, pick them up when my husband wasn't home, and it was just a mess. It was horrible. I ended up putting my kids in a daycare that I didn't love, and we had a really bad experience. And at that point, I quit my job. I said, I can't do this anymore. I need to go to part-time. I went to another company, and they were willing to hire me on a part-time basis. I was able to work only while my kids were at this trusted preschool that we love and adore. As the desire to work more kind of came up, I started taking on more PRN jobs. So when my husband is home, or if my parents are around to help me with the kids, or if I have a babysitter home from college, I can pick up extra work just calling my different bosses and saying, hey, do you have hours for me this day?
It sounds like the reality that you have this education has allotted for some flexibility in your schedule as you've been able to figure out what you're able to do and not do. I just got to tell you, when you're talking about driving home and stuck in my heart, I just can't imagine. I would have just been like snot crying all over the place. I can't get to
Yeah.
my side, you know? Oh,
It's a vivid memory. I was
yeah.
sobbing in traffic.
Oh my gosh, that is so painful and so hard. And it does. It forces you to have to get creative and to make some different choices. You have been able to build consistency. So, childcare. I mean, you've got your parents and they're 2 hours away. If you and your husband want to go out, how do you manage childcare other than preschool?
Childcare is a nightmare.
Okay.
Um, that's I was going to be honest with you. The price of childcare.
Mm.
I mean, my husband is in the military. I have a doctorate, and we have had to sit down and look, is the price of childcare, is it worth it? which is crazy to me because I don't understand how people make it work. At this point now, we have a couple of good family friends and we'll do childcare swaps. So that works really well for us.
And I guess you can always bring in the parents. Can you please come and spend the weekend? So you were talking about your schedule and when you're going to have your husband home, you do this and that. How do you manage all the moving parts of your life?
I'm very routine driven and we have our systems and rhythms. And so that stays the same always. The kids get up, I do these household things. I take them to school at this time, I pick them up at this time, and then I build my schedule around that. And then if my husband is home, then it just gives me a little bit of breathing room.
What does an ideal day in Amanda's world look like?
Well, I don't know how detailed you want to. You want to know the whole layout.
Well, like, what's your ideal? Like, what's a good day for you?
So typically, when my husband's home, he makes breakfast for us. The kids are pretty good about getting ready on their own. We do drop offs and then I go to work in clinic. I get off about noon. I pick up my preschooler. We'll do a little bit of household work and then we'll work out together. And we go pick up the other two from elementary school. And then we start dinner by 5:30 and we always eat as a family for dinner.
It sounds like a pretty consistent, good rhythm. What happens when somebody gets sick?
Usually when someone gets sick, I have to call out of work. Everybody else going through their normal routines, and then the sick one, we usually have a couch day. My workouts and my work just kind of go out the window. The
Mhm.
family routines stay.
When did you adapt that routine and that rhythm in your home?
I guess they got really strong during my third pregnancy, our routines. And I realized that when we were consistent with the first two kids on their times that we were feeding them, the times that they were getting up, the times they were taking a bath and going to bed, it made things run so much smoother than when we were kind of winging it. Every year it just builds. And so our routines get a little bit stronger. They get a little bit easier to manage. Everybody starts learning them a little bit better. And then the more time that my husband has to spend away, the more we lean into those routines.
Mm. Now, why is that?
I think the predictability really helps and it gives us space for the emotions. So my husband, he's a great husband. He's a great dad. He's very involved in our family. So when he's gone, it leaves a hole. And the kids have a lot of emotions. They're big feelers. And so if we have the routines in place to where we have that predictability, it gives them space for their emotions and it gives us space for that meltdown. And if we're going to have a fit and not be able to do homework tonight, it's okay because we have the routine. We're going to do it tomorrow. It'll be okay. We're not stressed about it. And I know we have enough time in our transitions that because that's a lot of times when we're going to have the meltdowns. So by giving them that space, it takes a lot off of my plate too. Because in the past, when I haven't had as strong of routines, when they have their emotional outburst, if I don't have enough structure to know what the next move is in our day, to tip the next domino, then I don't have the space to sit with them in those feelings because I feel rushed to figure out dinner. So say we have an after school meltdown and they're just upset for 30 minutes. Before I had all my routines, that would really derail me because then that's going to put us at 4:30. I don't know what's for dinner. I have to pull something out of the freezer. It's still frozen by 5:30 when I need to start cooking it. We end up going through the drive-through, then we get home late, and then they go to bed late, and it's just a cascading event. But if I already know that I planned the meals for the week on Sunday, I already pulled out what needed to be thawed because it's been planned. I know the couple steps to get it together. I can make that happen quicker and spend the time with them.
James talks about wisdom and insight. And you have insight into what your family needs, what your children need. And you have wisdom that has built this structure to give not just you the space, but your kids the space to be who they are. I mean, Amanda, that's beautiful. That's amazing. So
It's been quite the journey. It took a lot of me
Yeah.
trying and calling my mom and then seeking out, seeking the podcasts that fill my cup and teach me these tools and seeking the Instagram accounts that give me the tools to manage the kids.
You've definitely leaned into the wisdom of others that have gone before you and the ideas.
Oh, for sure. We can't do this on our own.
How do you care for yourself in that time, Amanda?
That's a hard one. That's one I'm still working on.
Okay.
Um, so I like doing runs. That helps a lot, especially when I'm just very overwhelmed with the emotion of it or the burnout of solo parenting because being on your own is hard. A lot of times I'm counting down until he comes and I know he's going to come back. So it's just a period of time. And some days that's all I can think about. I'm like, this is not fun. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't think I can do it anymore. And I'm like, but it's just a season and it'll pass. So reminding myself of that, leaning on people and asking for help, which is hard. I will be in the clinic and I'll tell the girls, I'll just say, is anyone free? They can stop by my house after work so I can do a 20-minute run. 20 minutes is not a big deal. Most people will say yes. It's harder for me to ask them to come for 20 minutes than it is for them to actually come for the 20 minutes. And I live right next to where I work, just making myself ask for help when I need it so that I can have that reprieve and get a little bit of time to myself.
You mentioned mom guilt. It's a term I hear a lot. It's a term I
Mhm.
struggled with. Where are you in that space of mom guilt?
Lately, I'm doing okay because I'm scheduling my stuff around them. It's when I get frustrated is what I feel the most guilty because especially my daughter is so empathetic and she always has been. One of her preschool teachers, I'll never forget, she wrote us a letter at the halfway point of the year and she said that Eleanor is the sweetest soul of any student she has ever taught. And I'll never forget that because it's so true. And, on this last deployment, I had to call my dad because I just felt like I couldn't get any space from the kids. I'm like, "They won't stay in their beds. They won't I can't work out because they're hanging off of me. I can't binge TV at night because they won't go to bed on their own." And he said that my daughter's love language is quality time and physical touch. I am not a physical touch person. Even though I'm a physical therapist, I do not like physical touch. And I have to have time by myself to reset. But he said, she sees that you're sad, and the only way she knows how to take care of you is to snuggle in. And so he said, you have to let her take care of you. And that made a big difference because then it changed my perspective a little bit to where I don't feel like she's stealing time from me necessarily. That you feel guilty because it's like, oh, I just want to be by myself. And then you get mad and you yell and you're like, just stay in your bed. And she just wants to take care of you. And when I started letting her take care of me, it would go from a 2-hour fight of me trying to get her to go to bed in her own bed so that I could have time by myself to I let her snuggle and take care of me for 10 minutes. She falls asleep. We have that quality time together. And then I sneak off downstairs and watch TV by myself.
Wow. That's so amazing. Like, I'm listening to that thinking, gosh, where was your dad when I was raising kids to tell me what my kids need? I mean, to have someone to remind you who your kids are when you're just tired and you can't even see it. What a
Yeah.
gift. What a gift that is for you. And what a beautiful way to move out of that space of guilt, seeing it from their eyes and understanding it from their eyes. That's just beautiful. Thank you for sharing that story. Amanda, you talked about you being the master of the side hustle. What has that done for you to have all the side hustles?
Well, for one, it gives me a little bit of ease off of my anxiety to know that I have multiple jobs. I have that security. It helps me to feel valued because I know that I'm needed and that I'm marketable. And so that helps with my confidence, which is something that I really struggled with most of my life. It also just kind of keeps things entertaining. It's not mundane. I'm a very loyal person. So the idea of having multiple jobs was weird to me, but you can still be loyal and have side hustles.
So, right now, this season of life, what's your biggest challenge?
Right now, I'm really trying to grow my podcast and my business on the coaching side. It's hard for me to prioritize myself a lot of times because other things are more pressing or more important. So I can squeak out a podcast in an hour on Sunday night and have it ready to go for Monday morning to launch, but I'm not showing up at the capacity I want to. The biggest challenge for me is just prioritizing my kind of entrepreneurship, I guess.
What space of coaching are you sitting in?
I'm calling it an ergonomic coach. PTs know how to teach ergonomics, but not everybody's going to go to PT to learn how to set up their desk space or to learn how to breastfeed in a position that is serving their body. But they can Zoom with me and I can look at their space and point out, like, oh, your back hurts because your feet are dangling.
So you really coach them on how to live day to day and how to do the things that are a part of their daily life. So your biggest challenge right now is just taking the time, clearing space so you can actually work on this your new side hustle and really help women in that space. What's one thing then that you are doing to develop, besides your podcast, to develop your business?
So I partnered with a lactation consultant and we put out an ebook on breastfeeding ergonomics and lactation. It's called Feeding Foundations and it's a great resource for new moms
Okay.
because it gives advice from a lactation consultant perspective and then also from an ergonomic perspective.
That's exciting. Congratulations. So now you can say you're an author too. As we finish up, I have some rapid fire questions. It'll be kind of fun. So, okay. Are
Sounds
you
good.
ready?
I'm
Okay.
ready.
Take a deep breath. Okay. If you could magically add 1 hour to your day, what would you do with it?
Work on my podcast business.
There you go. So, what's one small habit or system that keeps your family running smoothly?
Uh, Probably our meal planning system.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. So, what do you do for meal planning?
We have cards that have all of our regular meals on them. And so at the start of the week, I ask, what do you guys want for dinner? If they throw out any ideas, then that goes on the list for the week. Otherwise, I just pick random cards.
Yeah. So, I was a big meal planner back in the day. It saved my life. That's a good one. If your family had a theme song right now, what would that be?
Right now, we're jamming to Your Way's Better by Forrest Frank.
Okay. Okay. Finish this sentence. Motherhood has taught me to.
Slow down.
That's good. What's a guilty pleasure that always makes you smile? Something silly or indulgent that you don't usually admit?
Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, okay.
Just watching
what
Grey's
you-
Anatomy.
Is that what you binge watch?
It is. I start over from season 1, episode 1 every time my husband deploys.
What's one thing you wish every mom knew about giving herself grace?
I wish that they knew that every season has its good and its bad. So just take it all together.
That is very, very true. And you have many more seasons to go, don't you?
I feel like I've lived 1,000 lives as a mom, and it's only been 7 years.
Oh, yeah. It's wonderful. And it's a whole different journey when they get to be adults. So I'll have you back on then.
Yeah, I'd love to do it.
Yeah. So anyway, well, thank you so much, Amanda, for sharing your journey and just how you've been able to stay in that space of fulfilling your purpose, your calling, loving in the marketplace, as well as your calling as a mom and a wife, and creating that beautiful space for your family to just be able to breathe, like you kept saying. So I really appreciate it. And I know other women are going to be really inspired by how you've navigated it all and your honesty with how hard it's been too. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks so much for giving me the space to talk. And um, it's not helpful just to hide the hard parts. We got to be real about all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, before I forget, which I almost forgot, please share with the women listening how they can get a hold of you. I know we mentioned your podcast. I'll make sure to put it in the show notes, but what if they want to just reach out?
It's Everyday Ergonomics for Working Moms with Dr. Amanda. And then you can find me on Instagram at Dr.Amanda_ergo coach.
Okay.
And we have a Facebook community, which is just Everyday Ergonomics for Working Moms community.
Amanda, thank you so much for being so real with us today. Your story about letting your daughter take care of you when your instinct was to push her away, that's going to stay with me for a long time. And I know it's going to help so many moms listening who are trying to do it all perfectly. Beloved, if today's conversation resonated with you, I want to make sure you grab Amanda's contact info from the show notes. You can find her podcast, Everyday Ergonomics for Working Moms, with Dr. Amanda, and connect with her on Instagram. And here's something practical you can implement right away. Amanda mentioned meal planning as one of the systems that keeps her family running smoothly. Well, I have a free resource for you called Meal Planning in 3 simple steps. It'll help you take that Sunday stress off your plate. The link is in the show notes. And don't forget about Be Still Before the Holidays. Our virtual soul reset is coming up, and I'd love to have you join us because you deserve to enter the holiday season with your cup full, not running on empty. Until next time, remember, you don't have to do it all to be enough. You already are. If this episode has encouraged you, would you do me a big favor? Take a moment and leave a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. Your words help more women, moms just like you, find hope and guidance for their own journey. And would you share this episode with a friend? Maybe there's another mom in your circle who needs to hear that she can build a life with breathing room, that she doesn't have to choose between her calling and her kids. She needs to know that she's not alone. As we close, I want to leave you with Jesus' words from Matthew 5, from the Message. You, Mom, are here to be light, bringing out the God colors in the world. God is not a secret to be kept. We're going public with this, as public as a city on a hill. If I make you light bearers, you don't think I'm going to hide you under a bucket, do you? I'm putting you on a light stand. Now that I've put you there on a hilltop, on a light stand, shine. Keep open house. Be generous with your lives. By opening up to others, you'll prompt people to open up with God, this generous Father in heaven. So, beloved mama, remember, when you shine, you give others permission to shine too. Just like Amanda found her rhythm and created space to breathe, you can too. Don't settle for the status quo. Don't check out of your life. Take that next step, even if it's messy, even if you have to call your mom crying, even if you don't have it all figured out, just take the step. You don't have to do it all to be enough. You already are.